What's poppin', man? This is Luckie Lucci with Keys to the Trench, man. Tell the people who we with right now.
You with your boy David Hudson. For those of y'all who don't know, David Hudson. Instagram David_Hudson_9.
And tell the people where we at right now.
We uptown on Washington Avenue, right in front of the Vote building. And I came here purposely, although I'm from the Ninth Ward, from the Desire. I wanted to shoot this specific clip uptown, right under the Vote sign, because it's important.
Right. So if those of you, y'all know we usually shoot with people where they from, but this is bigger than being about where he from. It's about the message he's trying to push, the way he's going, and what he's standing for right now. So if anybody got a question why we ain't shooting in the 9, this is why we ain't shooting in the 9. It's bigger than that. So, I know who you are. I know what you got going on. Give people a brief summary of who is David Hudson.
All right, before we start that, first off, I want to thank God for granting me this opportunity to be in the position that I'm in. I don't take it for granted, And for all of y'all who don't know, my name is David Hudson. I'm from the Desire, born and raised, and it's a gift and a curse, and I'm gonna get to that. But for those of y'all who don't know, I have a whole lot going on in the city. I'm behind the scenes on a whole lot of stuff, and a lot of y'all may know me from all of the stuff up front, with like the street name change and the 50 years of hip hop, and et cetera, et cetera.
To elaborate on what he's saying, when he say the street name change, he's talking about the Birdman and Slim honorary street renaming of by Miss Gladys Ball. What that is? Irado and Saratoga, right?
Irado, Saratoga.
Honorarily known as, that corner is known as Williams Brothers Way. And David Hudson had a lot to do with that. Shout out to GDP. He played a part in that. And yeah, man, this is what it's about, man. Honoring the legends and what they got going on. So while we on that subject, tell us a little bit more of what you got going on as far as you trying to honor the legends, as far as what they done and what you trying to put in motion.
So first off, everything is about relationships and resources. And when I got the call about nobody from hip hop being honored for for all the things they done in the past, and a lot of people was affected by it. They was hurt and it was upset with the city. But come to find out, a lot of people just didn't have the resources or the relationships to make that happen. So when I got the call, I wanted to definitely make that happen. So we kicked off the 50-year hip hop, where we got a lot of the artists in the city honored with a proclamation. All the people who deserve one, we got them a proclamation. And we also did a part 2, maybe a part 3 on the way. I don't know yet. We still working because a few people still didn't get one. So we still working on that. And also did the key to the city for Birdman and Slim. Shout out to my brother GDP. Did the hard work to put that in to make that happen. We also have one coming for Master P.
Word. And where's the Master P? Where's his corner going to be named at?
Master P got Irado and Russia Blade.
Irado and Russia Blade.
In the U.
Word. That's big. So being somebody who you are and what you standing for in today's time, like, how did you get to this point, being from the Desire, from the Ninth Ward? For a lot of people turn out to be the complete opposite of you.
Right.
To be honest. So how did you get on your path to where you are, where you at now?
So long story short, this whole interview will be about that, but I gotta first say, anything I've ever done, I wasn't able to do it on my own. Mm-hmm. So there was a whole lot of people that played a major part in making this happen. I want to thank all the people that was a part of my lifestyle, and making and seeing ahead of time that I was one of the ones to be able to make a change for the city. Okay. And they saw that in me way back in the day. So they didn't allow me to be a part of all the foolishness that took place. So whether the drug dealers or the killers, or the hustlers or whoever, I had people who loved me so much that they didn't allow me to be able to touch anything. Yeah. So I couldn't get my hands on no drugs. I wasn't carrying no guns, and I was covered in the project. So I want to give a shout out to all of those people, man. I grew up in a Desire on Pleasure Street in the first 14 years of my life. So I want to give a shout out to all of those people.
So from birth to 14?
Up to 14. See, I'm from the old school, from pre-Katrina, whereas before they started taking everybody out all the different projects and merging them in a different project. Yeah. I stayed in the Desire, and Desire, one of the first projects they started knocking down.
Okay.
So in the process of them knocking it down, my mom moved on Paget Street, which is one street out the Desire project. And we stayed over there for a little bit. Then we moved on Louisa Street, which is Louisa and Florida Avenue.
Okay.
So, which is like maybe 3 or 4 blocks from the Florida Project. And then I want to give a shout out to my brother, Mickey. Mickey was one of my brothers. He out to Florida, some of the minor boys. Mickey was the first person that introduced me to the Florida, brought me to the Florida. So I transitioned from being in Desire, still hanging in the Florida. So shout out to all my people in the Florida.
And they all had this like understanding of who you was and what you was growing to be.
Even in my transition into going to the Florida, it was the same outcome. Like everybody knew that, you know, I potentially had the potential to be somebody.
Yeah.
No different than a basketball player, a star player.
Right.
You got to protect that person.
Right. Like everybody got that guy in the hood. They be like, hey, no, leave him alone.
Right.
Hey, no, don't pass that to him. He don't need to be doing none of that. Like, no activity like that. And that's great because a lot of people have this notion that the hood just pulling everybody in to do the worst shit that they could think of. Nah. And it's not always like that. Some of them hoods, they be having some real family vibes and like, you know, it be on some like, if you're not on that, we not gonna put you on that. We're gonna make sure you be who you need to be.
Right. So speaking of that, some of the best years of my life were in both of those projects. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna break it down for you because it was a gift and a curse. And the project showed me everything I needed to know about life, even to this day. It showed me how to be a hustler. So to all those people who still in the projects or came out the projects or whatever, you feel like you're still trapped in a zone. Everybody have an opportunity to change their life. Don't let nothing or nobody stop you from being who you want to be. And reason being, when I was in the hood, people didn't realize how important it was that we were surrounded by a whole lot of hustlers. So we was always taught to hustle. And when I say hustlers, I ain't talking about just the drug dealers. You got the candy lady. Right. You got the people that cut hair. You got the barbers in the project. You got the mechanics in the project. You had almost every trade of what we do in life that was in a project. So we always knew how to hustle. And some people in the project just never took their hustle outside of the project mentality. Right. So I took what I learned from that and flipped it over to the political world. Right. And I didn't hustle my way through the political world in a positive way and to get in this position that I'm in right now.
So tell us about modern day, how some of those connections are helping you to do some of the things you're trying to do. We talked a little bit off camera, but I want to reiterate this for the people. So tell us about the connections that you have that's got you being able to tap into the youth that's in the system and all that and teach the other youth that's not in the system about the system.
Man, listen, life is about relationships and resources. Shout out to my cousin, Honorable Darren Purnell. We got a book out and it's titled Business Relationships and Resources. And basically it talks about life is about relationships and resources. If you don't have relationships and resources, you don't have pretty much nothing. So let me break that part down for you. There's people with money that can't get in rooms that relationships can get you into or resources can get you into. And I want to reiterate that I came to this spot on purpose for as vote because voting is important. And a lot of people, when we came up in the project, we was always told that, you know, votes don't count, and we never was taught nothing about that. We never really worried about it because no matter who was president, no matter who was mayor, no matter who was governor, no matter who was who, it seems as though none of those people were on our side. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it felt like those people didn't matter to us, so we wasn't raised on how important the vote is. But right now, I'm a living witness. I'm right in front of you right now to tell you, voting is one of the most important things that you could ever do. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was able to partner with so many different people to pull off so many different things. So shout out to all the council people, councilmen and women that we have today. Because with all of those council people, they all approved the street name change for me, for Baby and Slim. Right. So without those council people, I wouldn't have been able to tap in with them and make that happen. Shout out to our mayor. Without the mayor, we weren't able to get the keys to the city for Baby and Slim and others who also got certificate of recognition from the mayor's office. And also, without those same council people, we wouldn't have been able to get the 50-year hip-hop to honor all the artists who were never honored before. And that's just to talk about hip-hop. And I'm a part of a lot of entrepreneurships and everything tied into our government. So if we don't elect the right people in government, then we're going to continue to have a problem. So if anybody told you your vote don't count, that's a damn lie. You need to get out here and make something happen. So if anybody need help with registration, if you need to get registered to vote, I can help you with that. If you need to learn more about what you need to vote on, I can help you with that. And then for all of those people who gonna say some of those people don't deserve to be in office and things of that nature, you're right. But if we don't go out and vote, we're gonna continue to have the wrong people in the office. And I appreciate the ones that are in the office who don't belong in the office, because they open the eyes to us to let us know, God
Right.
damn, I gotta get off my ass
Right.
and go cast me a vote to see what I need to do.
Right.
So don't never let nobody tell you your vote don't count. Don't never let nobody tell you you don't matter, because everybody have a position in life to get in a position.
And let me say this, not only did the people need to hear that, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. I needed to hear that. Because I'm one of them people who felt like the vote didn't really matter, bro. So I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I needed to hear that, because it's like, you talking about different variations of voting, because when people hear the word vote, they think this president or this president.
Right.
They don't let it trickle down to the mayors they voting for, the councilman they voting for, the governor they voting for. When most people hear the word vote, they think this president or this president. They
Right.
think every 4 years. They think, all right, whoever is the worst, that's the one I'm not gonna vote for.
Right.
So, like, people need that game. I'm
Right,
one of them
right.
people. I'm not afraid to admit that. Need that game. We need that knowledge on this voting. We need somebody like you that we can relate to tell us this.
Right.
You
And
know?
usually I'm one of those people who don't speak. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna just be about it. So I was able to capture a whole lot of things throughout the city that a lot of y'all don't know about. Like a lot of stuff that you're seeing happening in a positive manner, I had a finger in doing so. But I ain't the person to brag about it. I'm humble, you know, and I ain't trying to get no credit for it. So even a lot of stuff I've done, I've given the credit to other people just to give them the light. Because I ain't worrying about the light. I'm just trying to make sure what we need to make happen, it happens. So I'm here to bridge the gap. I've been bridging the gap. I've been doing a whole lot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I just, and to pick back up on what you asked me in the beginning, I have a partnership with criminal court and civil court judges. I just tapped in with the high schools, middle schools. I'm getting ready to have them, all the field trips that they take to go to the zoo and all these different places. I'm partnershiping with a lot of schools across the city where I'm gonna have those same schools taking a field trip to the courtroom and sit in the courtroom and watch a judge hand down a sentencing for carjacking and armed robbery and et cetera. You know, murder, attempted murder, whatever, and they'll be able to see it firsthand so they can get educated and see it firsthand. With that, how important that it is, because a lot of times they only hear about it. Oh
Right.
man, you go to jail, this, that, and the third. So
Right. Like it ain't about nothing.
It ain't about nothing. So I partner with the jails. I also partner with the jails, but I partner with the courtrooms. I partner with the courtrooms to have them take field trips to go sit firsthand and see that whenever you in a situation, it ain't many people gonna show up for you. All your friends, only
Yeah.
a few family members gonna show up for you in
Yeah.
court. So
For sure.
I need them to see
For
that
sure.
firsthand. So also, I have a partnership with juvenile and the main justice jail in New Orleans, where we're gonna do them same field trips to the jailhouses, and I'll be able to allow the kids to see the people, their peers in jail, and to be able to talk to them firsthand, and they'll be able to tell the kids,
hands-on experience.
It's gonna be a hands-on experience, no scare straight. It'll just be to let them know, like, hey man, when I was in the street, I took it for granted, and I was told this, but it's not what it is when you get on the other side.
Right.
So I'm for the city, for the community, for the youth,
Right.
and I'm gonna keep pushing that.
So, as far as the youth, you doing all this for the youth. So, what made you see that need? Was that growing up in the desire and all that? Like that made you feel that need to, somebody need to, cause see, I know a lot of people, when they talk about the youngins, they treat them like castaways. They treat them like lost causes.
Right.
So what made you really like look at that problem and be like, I'm finna really start doing something about this for real instead of just calling them lost?
Right. So even back to being in the projects, and you know how people say you could get somebody to fact check this.
Yeah.
You could go to any one of them, the Press Park, the Ninth Wall, any strip, MLP, G Strip, Mazan, anywhere in the Ninth Wall, across the canal. I'm loved in the whole 9, so I represent the 9. even in the East. I represent the 9, but I'm for the whole city. But listen, I saw so many people that was lost. Didn't know what to do. Everybody just following everybody. You know what they say back in the days, the old people, the blind leading the blind. So everybody just following a group of people. I always wanted to be the person to stand out. So in order to stand out, you can't blend in. So every time people went left, I try to see if I could do something to go right, right? So like, for example, we have to start realizing that, like the light. A black man invented light, but the white man invented electricity bills. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to learn. You have to learn how to capitalize.
Right.
Don't be a product of your environment. Don't be trapped in the environment you in. You could do better. You just gotta want to do it. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, a black man made the red light. A white man created the camera tickets. So now, okay, we created the light. We could flick it on, show you about the light and all of that. Okay, well, I'm gonna see where I could capitalize. Boom. I'm gonna create the camera tickets. I'm gonna create pulling over, getting the tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff that we have to learn. We have to learn the history. And in today's society, everybody only focus on 3 F's. And that's food and foolishness and funerals. That's the only time we really link. So we only connected with foolishness. Anything that's negative on the internet, it go viral. I was able to do so much in the community single-handedly. I partnered with so many different people because I can't do everything by myself. So I connect with so many different people throughout the city and let them run the front run, and I'm gonna make sure everything happen for them. And then I'm partnered here, I have relationships everywhere. In any segment of what you're trying to get and tap in with, I have a relationship with somebody, and not nobody who connected to the person or the middleman.
Big dogs.
I know anything I do. If I tell you I could do it because I know the person who run a show.
Yeah.
So we have to change our focus and change how we think.
One thing I can say, I seen your impact and stuff you had in motion long before I knew who you was. I just seen it happening. Like you see these proclamations happening, you see all this stuff happening, and it's like, wait, that's the guy. I finally met the guy. And it's like I said, shout out to GDP. Cause GDP, he the one put me on, he the one introduced me to you the first time and stuff. So it's like, he's a big part of what the city got going on because of the simple fact of he's tapped in with what the city got going on. He builds relationships.
Right.
He does it, you do it, y'all just do it in a different way, but it's all the same. Like you said, relationships is everything.
And that's a fact. Like Jizzle said, nah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, bro, it's so much in the city that we could do. First of all, let me say this much. A lot of people from the youth, from my era, any era, well, today's society, we getting a little tapped in even more, but as far as the people who come from the lower income, the lower income areas, certain things don't never trickle down to our area. So we lost about a lot of stuff that happened. So by me getting in government, I could have took and got in there and said, you know what, I'm gonna make my family, I'm gonna make my wife and 5 kids and the rest of my family, I'm gonna make sure we rich.
Yeah.
And close the door on everybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm the total opposite. I've been giving my whole life. So everything I'm doing, I don't make a dollar off it. So whether these proclamations or anything you see me doing, I do a lot of campaigning with a lot of the elected officials who are actually elected right now. So a lot of the stuff that you see me doing, I don't do it for the money, I do it for the people, because we need it. So when I found out hip hop was one of the lost ones, I said, you know what, we need to bridge the gap. So I'm bridging the gap with the youth in the hip hop world, with the elected official world, and then I partner with different people to bridge the gap throughout the whole state. Because a lot of people say, I'm from New Orleans. I ain't from Louisiana, I'm from New Orleans. But we need to bridge that gap, because guess what? When the artists need to go perform, the first person who will pay you what you work, reach out to you and say, come out and perform, will be the people that's outside the city.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's why we can't have that mindset and attitude like, the hell with the rest of the state, because I'm from New Orleans. Nah, the rest of the state is tapped in as well.
I'm talking about divided to the T, dude.
And not only that, like they say, New Orleans is a crab in a bucket, right? So when one person get in position, everybody always shooting at that person.
Yeah.
And see, everything I'm doing is positive, so you won't hear about it or see about it. And I'm behind the scenes, so a lot of stuff you just don't know that I'm even making happen. But when I found out hip hop was in such a disarray, I tapped in immediately. I was already tapped in with hip hop. Cam Beamer was the first person that I managed. Shout out to Cam Beamer, the producer.
Shout out Cam.
Shout out to my other guy. I got Cash Bangs, I got Bezo 4L, I got Moby the Plug. I got a lot of people that's under me.
Yeah.
And the producer side, they pumping, but my artist side, I told them hold up. And I'm gonna tell you why. The hottest artists in the city be the hottest in the city, but they still having problems getting a deal, tapping in with labels, tapping in with people that just overseeing from different states and all of that.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't know is, just over a year ago, I partnered with some labels and was able to get some people in position with labels outside of the city, outside of the state. And I have a relationship with all the labels, pretty much all the labels that exist right now. I talk to somebody from each label right now. And people, all the artists in the city, just do what you're doing. I'm already sending them your way. So a lot of people who've been tapped in don't even know, because I don't want the recognition. I want our city to be able to grow like a Atlanta, to be able to compete with the old New York or Miami or whatever. We just need more people buzzing in there. We have a lot of people. We just need more people being pulled from the city. So to all the artists, I know a lot of the artists are tapping in with me because they see me with all the major players. But I also have relationships with a lot of the major labels, and I'm doing my job diligently, trying to make sure a lot of these artists get in position. And speaking on that, I have a few A&Rs from almost 6 or 7 labels that I'm getting ready to bring in the city on next month.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a meet and greet. I'm gonna select a group of artists to be able to come sit, meet the artists, and I'm gonna set up a thing where they'll be able to perform in front of these these A&Rs.
Bro, you're a blessing to the city right now, man. And to God be the glory, but you're a blessing to the city right now. This is so refreshing to hear somebody even trying to do some stuff like what you're doing. But let me ask you this, so what is it about David Hudson for them doors open for you like that? Do they just see what you're doing in general, so they kind of already have a respect for you? Because it's like you talking about you building all these relationships and you make it almost sound easy, and I know it's not easy.
Nah.
So how are you accomplishing these things?
So like anything else, brother, if you start from nothing, most people in our generation, we not handing anything. Nothing not handed down to us. If our family member passed away, nothing not left over for us. You know, a lot of people in our community, we don't get those type of people that say, oh, my family member rich, we gonna take care of you, whatever. So everything we do, we have to get it out the mud.
Yeah.
And I understand that because my mom used to work 3 and 4 jobs to make sure I was good. You see what I'm saying? I had brothers and my sister made sure I was good. So, and I'm the youngest of 5, but I started from the ground. A lot of my peers were getting in trouble. When I was in the project, I see a lot of my guys who was hustling, making the bread, building it up, building a name for themselves, being known. And when they get to a certain part, they never invested. They never say, you know what, I done made enough, let me get out. And it's an addiction, so people get stuck. And a lot of my people get caught and go to jail, and all that money that they made, now they have to either spend it on lawyers or that money got took from them when they ran in their house.
Damn.
So now guess what? I said, well, dang, how can I help my people in this type of situation? So that's when I say, you know what? I'm gonna find out a way to get in this political world and start helping these people out so I can get some insight on how everything go to be able to help the community.
Right.
So I started from that part, but only because of my environment. Mm-hmm. So then I started from the ground up. I grind. I'm gone 7 days a week making something happen. So that's why you look on everybody's pages, you start to see me everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, right.
And I ain't just started doing this. I've been doing all the stuff that I'm doing. People just started recognizing. Shout out to Gert for posting me every 2-3 days out the week.
Gert put you out there. Now everybody know.
Right.
You can't be low key no more.
but the people on so when Gert posts me, people only know me from the hip hop world.
Right.
But there's so many other things that I'm tapped into. So outside of the hip hop world, I'm a legend in all of these different areas. So I don't worry about the flowers because they ain't gonna give them to you. That's the reason I had to go in and make sure everybody else get their flowers, because people ain't really handing out the flowers. But coming from nothing, bro, I had to work 7 days a week. I had to grind. I'm gone all day. I'm married with 5 kids. My wife understands. She hold everything down for me. I love her and I appreciate her. My kids understand because I have partnership. I sponsor kids in colleges, a lot of colleges throughout the city. a lot of schools in the inner city.
Okay.
Right? I'm a part of a whole lot of things. New Orleans All-Star Band. I'm one of the assistant band directors at Carver. I'm a part of everything that's happening at Carver.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We had the street name changed down there before any other street name, like for the hip hop and everything else. But they got the street name changed to Carver Ramsway. I just made a
I
post
saw
today.
that.
We raised $12 million. They getting ready to build a stadium at Carver, so we can ready to bring some. They bringing some resources, and they about to open it back up down in the Ninth Ward. But I had to get it out the mud, bro, and I understood and I knew how hard it was. So all these entrepreneurs, I'm tapping in with all my elected officials. I'm going to all these lower class restaurants and different places, people who opening up their businesses that wasn't able to do a ribbon cutting, and I'm getting the council people to shoot out the e-blasts to 10 and 15,000 people to let the people know that they're there. I'm getting the news people to come out, shoot a story on them. I'm getting the council people to come bring some more elected officials, hand them a proclamation, and we do a ribbon cutting to help boost up these businesses in New Orleans.
Right.
I've helped a whole lot of people behind the scene. I literally have to look through my phone to remind me of what all the stuff I've done. So, I don't want the glory. To God be the glory. I'm just here to make sure everything, I'm trying to do best as I can to plug in all these people, and I know what it's like not to have. So I go all out my way. I don't even treat myself, bro. Yeah. I ain't had a vacation in like 2 years.
Oh no, you gotta enjoy yourself, man. You
I'm trying to make sure, because as soon as this finished, this happening. So I'm trying to make sure we keep plugging stuff in. So I have a relationship with like a lot of the kids at the school. I just partner with a whole lot of these businesses. Shout out to like Ty Nola, Case Closed, Prowlees, D Exquisites, and there's a whole lot of Patio 17. There's a whole lot of local businesses that I tapped in with to start sponsoring some of the kids at the school, take a little pressure off my back. So I'm having them pick a few kids at each school, and they're gonna sponsor the kids throughout the year.
Okay.
Right? And then when prime time come, they're gonna be their supporter to make sure they get all the stuff for prime time and everything else. Homecoming. So if it's restaurants, then those kids be able to eat, go get some food from the restaurants all year round. So when I get the sponsorship with all the different people that I'm partnering with, then these trickle down to the kids. I got the barbershops, they're giving the guys free haircuts.
Man.
Working with a salon right now, waiting on that to happen.
So I know your mind constantly be turning because it seems like you're trying to impact the community in all type of ways, dude.
Exactly. So to everybody who be calling me, and I tell you all the time when you call me, if I don't answer the phone, just keep hitting me up. I'm not avoiding nobody. It's just that I'm doing 6 million things all at once. And the minute my phone stops ringing and I get a chance to just relax, I don't even scroll through the call logs to see who calls. See, I'm gonna call them back. So you gotta constantly hit me up. I'm not avoiding you. I ain't making you sweat me or nothing like that. It's just.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you that. So what is the best way to get in contact with David Hudson? Like if it's some real important stuff you trying to get in motion, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
So shout out to June. Keys to the Trenches. He have my personal cell number. So if anybody watching this, you could reach out to him if it's something urgent. He could get in touch with me. I answer the phone calls all the time. Other than that, I'm on Instagram at David_Hudson_9. You shoot me an inbox or whatever, I read all my stuff when I get a chance, and I reply to everybody when I get a chance.
So with all this community work, I have to ask this. Is the ultimate goal for you to run? Do you want to run?
So speaking of that, I ran this year, literally.
Okay.
So I ran for a seat called OBDEC, which is a committee. It's not an office seat. It's just a committee. It's a group of 14 people who are responsible for local and statewide elections. So the committee come together and we pretty much vote on who we gonna endorse. So it's just an endorsement committee.
Okay.
So I ran for that seat in 2020, and every 4 years, like any other election, I ran again this year. I ran unsuccessful both times, which is all right. But when I ran the first time, I really didn't have no plans on running. But then a lot of my peers and a lot of my elected officials just like, man, you need to throw your name in a hat just to see where it go, because you do so much for the city. You can literally be in a spot in the city. So I just threw my name out there, and when I did it, I didn't realize how impactful it was to my peers, the people in the community that I know. So when I'm seeing people, I had a few people call me like, bro, I was just getting ready to off myself because life's so fucked up. But when I saw you running, that shit gave me hope, because I know you was in the project when I was in the project. And I'm
That's
doing
deep.
all the stuff that I'm doing because a lot of peers in the project don't know nobody pretty much that's sitting in the office seat. So when you look at all the people that sit in these office seats, a lot of them didn't come from humble beginnings. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And if they did, they didn't grow up in like in a project. They may have grown up in the trenches or like the outskirt or
Yeah.
or something like that. But when somebody you know or you grew up with, you could see them in that position that just give you a like. And then to all of those people, they could reach me, they could touch me. Some people get in a certain position and man, they go missing. So, being able to touch those same people and reach out to them and tell them I'm gonna do something for them and actually stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Standing on the business, I've just been making sure I'm doing everything I can for the community. So I tap in with all the different people throughout the community and I do what I can.
All right, so if you was to run, have you ever thought about running? And if you was to run, what position would you run for?
All right, so I did ran. I ran for an office seat this year, which is called OBDEC. And that stands for Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee. And it's basically a committee seat where you just sit on the board and we're responsible for the endorsements for local and state candidates.
Okay.
So I ran for that because it's just a committee seat. But in terms of running for like an actual elected official seat, at the moment, my stance is no, because I have, and I'm glad you asked that question, because if I was to run for an office seat, it hold me down to that one position. So if I was to run for a state representative seat, then I'm just responsible for that section of the city. Or if I run for councilman, then I'm responsible for that section of the city that I'm running in. Now, if I run for mayor and successfully win that position, then it definitely you'd be over the whole city. But as it stands now, I'm not running for anything because I could get more done being in the position that I'm in with all the relationships that I have. So,
and that ties into everything you've been saying this whole time, because that position is more about the glory, and what you just reiterated, that you more about the work.
right.
So, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So I don't have no plans on running for anything, bro, because I could get more done being in the position that I'm in now. So if I run for a certain seat, then it ain't no different than people that work for a business, a school, people that's on teams, basketball teams. Everybody disagrees sometimes. And I think I have a lot of that going back and forth in the elected official world. Some people don't agree on some things that other people say, and they got a lot of back and forth going into place. But for me, I stand neutral. I have an issue with anybody, and I can tap in with anybody to get anything that I need done. So I have a relationship with almost everybody that's in the elected official world. And
Word.
it's better for me that way, because then if I'm in a position, it just hold me down to that position.
And don't get it twisted. Just because he said he don't want to run, that don't mean don't vote. I got to get out and vote, you dig? I'm going to get out and vote. He done convinced me. I'm going to show y'all. When I go vote, I'm going to go on the store. I'm going to show y'all, put my ballot in, you heard me? I'm about to get out there and vote from now on, you dig? Because I had to hear it from somebody more so like me, and the way he broke it down is like, it was a little different. So I hope he got through to y'all too, because, it's important. It's important. I just needed to know why it was important, because I wasn't seeing it. But hopefully y'all see it, you dig?
Right, and definitely, man, I encourage y'all to vote. Voting is so important. You're seeing all the things that are able to happen at the current moment. There's so many things that I was a part of that I made happen that a lot of y'all don't know about. But I'm telling you, because of the people that's in the right people being in position, I'm able to make all these things happen. So voting is super, 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 super important. So even to all of the ones that I help start a business and help them with their businesses or whatever the case may be, is because I have relationships with a lot of people that's in office. So I could get the knowledge of those type of people and pass it down to the people who don't get that information. So it's pretty much being a liaison to make all of that happen and bridging the gap. And I'm able to be touched. I'm in the community all the time. I'm everywhere. So I'm able to help everybody. But voting is super important. And if you have any questions or you need any help about voting, just hit me up. Hit up trenches, keys to the trenches.
Yeah.
If you want, if you need to. In fact, I'm getting ready to set something up where I'm about to do a whole lot of things all into one, where I'm gonna have the voter registration and many other things lined up in place. I'm gonna have some elected officials come out as well, so you'll be able to partner with them and talk to them and ask them any questions you have. But as far as voting is super important, especially in this presidential race. And if anybody need to know who to vote for, I can't say I'm 200% correct, but let me tell you, if I'm supporting a person, it's because I know who they are personally outside of what you're gonna see when, you know, people just go by the look and all this different other stuff, but
Yeah.
I know these people personally. I've been around a lot of them, so if I'm supporting somebody, that's most likely the person you need to support. And usually when election time kick in, I'm posting who I'm supporting, and I encourage y'all to support the same people as well.
Yeah, man, we gonna roll with a man of the people. We gonna roll with a man of the people, man. But look, before we even close this out, anything you want to say before we close out, anything you forgot to touch on, it's anything, period.
Of course, it's a whole lot. But
Yeah.
it's a whole lot, definitely. But to all my people, man, I'm a part of a whole lot of stuff in the city, not just the hip hop world. I'm just a part of the community in general. But anybody that's, you know, if you thinking about starting a business or you thinking about doing anything, pursuing a career, doing anything, don't think about it. Just go make it happen. God gonna take care of the rest. We just need you to start the work. I'm a living witness. I just started, and everything else worked itself out. A lot of times I didn't know how I was gonna get to the ending, or how it was gonna happen, or when it was gonna happen, but everything pretty much has laid itself out. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen for a reason. But don't ever give up. Keep going.
Appreciate you, my brother. This Keys to the Trench. Y'all gotta like, share, subscribe, comment. Right now we in Gert Town in the 17th. He represent the 9th Ward, but not only just the 9th Ward, he represent New Orleans, he represent Louisiana, man. It's Keys to the Trench, man. It's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you once again.
You already know, brother.
Y'all gotta tap in.